Hello y'all, happy Friday. Today we're going to focus on part 2 of our video about preparing and what to expect for fall and winter coming up in our chicken coops. And in this video we're going to talk about feed requirements and what to expect with our hens and egg laying. Now, it may actually be a little misleading to say that this is going to be about feed requirements over winter, because really there aren't any different feed requirements in winter. But what I wanted to highlight is that when we feed our chickens, it does help to raise their body temperature as they're digesting food. So, and we'll talk about like heat requirements in the coop and things that we can do in the coop to help raise heat in a later video, because that is a whole nother discussion in and of itself. But chickens resting body temperatures are somewhere between 104 to 107 degrees Fahrenheit. And as they consume food, then their digestive system is working, their body temperature raises slightly also. So one thing that I will implement is utilizing more treats than I would typically give in the summer, and treats like cracked corn. Now, cracked corn holds no nutritional values for our chickens. It is not good for them. They gain nothing from it, from just like they like it. And again, we want to stick to our 90-10 rule, 90% like a well-balanced layer pellet and 10% treats if that's what we're going to do. But giving that cracked corn or scratch grains or treat right before bed, or even feeding right before bedtime, putting feed out in the morning and in the evening time so that they can eat before they go into roost at night, will allow them to sort of raise their own body temperature a little bit, which may offer them a little more warmth on those coldest days. Now we need to talk about egg production, what to expect over winter. It takes our hen something like 24 to 46 hours to produce an egg. That's the entire cycle. About 20 hours of that is spent just creating the shell. Beyond that, our hens need about 14 to 16 hours of daylight to produce an egg. And there are like hormones. I read somewhere that it was actually in the pineal gland in the hen's brain that signals to the hen that there's enough daylight hours and that it's time to lay an egg. And you should know that that summer solstice that happened, like the first day of summer, is significant because that is the time of the year when our daylight hours start to get shorter until we hit the winter solstice, and at that time they start to get longer again. But I mean, we all know that what's happening that time of year is very literally we have fewer daylight hours, and the hens laying production reflects those daylight hours. The shorter our days get, the fewer eggs that we can expect our hens to be laying. Now, there are some things that farmers will do to stimulate egg production. Putting artificial light in the coop to stimulate light, to stimulate the hens to lay, is one thing that people do. I wouldn't suggest that. Personally, I would prefer my hens to just live out their natural laying cycle. And here's the thing, kind of like human women, a hen is born with every single potential egg that's ever going to develop and grow into an egg and be laid by her. Most hens will lay something like 500-ish eggs throughout their entire lifetime. It's why you see these like production commercial chicken egg laying breed, they're spent at like 2.5 years old. Whereas I have hens who are 6-7 years old still laying. It's because they lay really strong every spring, kind of trickle down into summer, pick back up again in fall, trickle down again in winter, and there's like an ebb and flow to their laying cycle. Because we can expect our hens to not be laying as much over winter, if at all, that's a really good time to do your preventative deworming or like internal parasite treatments, things that require an egg withdrawal time. Those are good times to do it because they're not laying eggs anyways, right? I don't know about you, but personally at this point, I cannot wait for winter. I am so over this hot, wet summer. But down here in Florida, we're coming into hurricane season, and that's like a whole nother beast.